good afternoon. I'm here with the fabulous Renee Turner. We're going to be talking a little bit about her journey with the program and what her experiences were. But before we get started, I'd love for her to introduce herself, tell us a little bit about what she does, you know, and then we're going to dive into her journey.
Okay, perfect. So like Raquel said, my name is Renee Turner. I am a family and matrimonial attorney. I have my own practice called Thoughtful Lawyering, and the name is intentional because I truly care about my clients and want to help them navigate through probably the toughest time of their life with someone they can trust and someone who will advocate for them and perhaps their children in the best way possible. I focus on uncontested matters, meaning I don't litigate. I truly believe that there's a different way to resolve custody, divorce, child support issues without having to go to court and have that stress and expense. So I love my clients, I love my work, and I'm happy to be here.
And that's so important, Renee, because when you go to a family law attorney like yourself and you're diving into these really personal matters, like child custody and divorce, and just the separation of assets, that is all so emotional, right? So it's so awesome and so valuable to have someone like yourself on their team, and when you think about them as as part of the team members.
Yes, yes, exactly.
So let's take a little dive into where you were. Now, you joined the program in what year, Renee?
I believe it was 2021 or 22.
Okay. And what were you struggling with at that time that no one really saw?
So I was about a year and a half out from losing my husband, John, to cancer. He had passed relatively quickly after being diagnosed. He was 36, I was 34 at the time. We had two young children. They were 2 and 4 years old. And at the time, I was employed at a big law firm in New York City. I was successful. I loved my firm, my work, but I was drowning in grief. And I really didn't know how to navigate my day to day any longer. I was diagnosed with high functioning depression and didn't want that identity to be my future. I knew that I could heal from my loss, and I knew that there was more for me to live. I just had to figure out how to get there.
And so your journey is a little bit different because a lot of the ladies that have come through the program have been experiences with their high functioning, they're working, X amount of hours, they're, overly stressed, unfulfilled. This wasn't necessarily your case, right? You felt fulfilled in your position, you felt fulfilled as an attorney and in your job. It was just that heaviness and that grief that you felt. Am I correct?
Yeah, well, I did reach so when I reached out to Christy, I was looking for career advice because I had reached a point where I was having a difficult time with a supervisor and really struggling to feel confident, and I guess worthy of continuing to be in such a high position at my firm. And but Christy was the one who identified that it really wasn't about my job. It was about everything else, and that the circumstance I was facing at work was triggering a lot of unresolved trauma.
And that's actually really important to highlight because a lot of times we go into a program thinking we need one thing,
Right.
when in fact we are really looking at a completely different scenario which we haven't addressed or didn't
Mhm.
even know we needed to address, right? So
Right.
when she uncovered that and then she placed you into, because I was your coach, Renee. So tell
Yeah.
us a little bit about that.
Well, I loved working with you. I loved how individualized your coaching was and
Yeah.
how you there was accountability in terms of doing the work and making sure that we were showing up for ourselves, right? Like you truly cared about us and wanted us to achieve our goals. But you were very compassionate and understanding of where we were. So you came to us at that point, as opposed to forcing anything on us. It was really like, you're here because you want to get better, and I'm going to hold your hand in doing that.
Oh, well, that's really sweet of you to say. I've been told that I'm a little intense sometimes, Renee. It's really because it comes from a place of love, right?
Yeah,
Because I
yeah,
really do see and I want us all to be healed. Because
right.
once you have clarity of mind and peace,
Mhm,
that just it opens up so many more doors and opportunities, right?
right.
So leading with that, what did you realize in the first 30 days of the program?
It was truly transformational. So Christy had said that I would see a difference within 6 weeks, and I truly did. I did the work, as it was assigned, and I just started to feel more at peace and that I was moving towards something greater for myself, and really facing, I guess, the challenges that I was kind of hiding from,
Mhm.
um, and so that was healing too, but feeling like I had a community that supported me in doing that was what allowed me to, do the work and to, um, face the emotions, which were difficult but necessary.
Talk to me a little bit about the group coaching because I know that a lot of women and a lot of individuals they're used to the one-on-one type, coaching or counseling, if you will, where you're the only one in the room. How was it being in that community of women and having others share their personal struggles and everything that was going on with them?
I think it's truly, transformational to be in a space, especially with Vision Finder, where these are such successful women, accomplished women, confident women that probably if you saw them outside of this community, wouldn't even think twice that they were struggling with anything. So it was really nice to be in a space where, you see people who look like you, who are struggling with something, and it's obviously not going to be the same struggle, but to be able to say, "Okay, everybody doesn't have it all together. We're all a work in progress, and we get to do this together and help each other heal." So that was really nice because you can feel very isolated. I know I felt very isolated and alone in my struggle and pain, but you're never like, everybody had something, you just don't know it.
Would you say that it was the first time you felt seen or
Mhm.
understood or heard? I've
Oh, yeah.
heard that before, that's why I'm highlighting those 3.
Yes, definitely.
And how was that feeling of I guess, the being seen?
Um, Enlightening, because yeah, it like I said, it's just very isolating and, I had no one really in my life who I could be vulnerable with in that way, and by being in Vision Finder and my cohort of women, I could let my guard down and I could just share, and, even one of my the women in the group, she and I connected personally because we both had significant losses, so we were able to communicate just one-on-one, and just to find that in someone else was really healing and comforting.
Absolutely. Tell me about some of the specific results that you achieved since joining. So we talked a little bit about, kind of the confidence shift. Were there other things like, that helped you or that you saw that were opening up, such as revenue? Because I know we want that money over here, right? Promotions. What boundaries did you set? What systems did you build? I know you went into your own private practice. So I'd love to hear about that.
Yeah, I mean, I think as a result of Vision Finder, I just, realigned back to who I am innately and who I was born to be and to show up in this world, and that's a loving, caring person who wants to help people, and so I was on track for partner at my law firm. I probably would have made it if I stayed, but I knew that that wasn't aligned with who I am anymore. And so I feel like I promoted myself and I started my own practice. And now I'm the head of my firm and I choose my cases, I manage my workload, I have complete autonomy over my life. And I love that. And I think that having gone through the program, I just realigned with who I am. And the result has been that my life is what I want it to be. And I'm very happy. Very happy.
And you can see it, Renee. It's amazing how that there was something that unlocked in you and you became realigned with who you were, the person
Mhm,
that you were becoming, the person that you are now.
mhm.
So tell us about the when did you experience that sense of feeling unlocked, or what did the program unlock in you that you were able to say, okay, this is where, because a lot of women, they're in their jobs, right, and they're thinking, okay, this, I'm not aligned here, you feel misaligned.
Mhm.
What 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 led you to that next step, or how did you cross that next step, or that next boundary?
Yeah, I think for me, it was really about finding my confidence again, and that's what I was working on, in the program because a symptom of my grief was that I lost my confidence, and I think it's just because I lost my sense of identity. I identified as a wife and as a mother, and I was still a mother, but my life was no longer what I anticipated it to be, and so
Mhm.
I had to redefine what that looked like. And, I just had to remember who I've always been, and I had to choose, what was next for me and how I wanted to show up. And just r so, like Christy would say, like, I'm a true Leo, and, you wouldn't think that because I don't know, I'm very soft-spoken and not I don't necessarily, uh, I guess, look for the spotlight to always be on me. But I do have a lot of strong qualities, and I just tapped back into that and was like, "You are amazing. You are meant to be in every room that you're in and to show up fully."
And that is so powerful because even as you say, even as a soft-spoken woman, you can still bring power to a room. You
Mm.
don't have to be loud like
Yeah,
me. I'm pretty loud, but but you can come in and be soft-spoken and still have that inner confidence and that inner peace and that inner power that you need to be able to get to that next level, right?
right. So
Um,
true.
and so what would have happened if you didn't join?
Um, I don't know since I did join, but I do know that I probably would have struggled to get to where I am now. I may have stayed in my job because I probably would have seen it as there's nothing else. I may not have built the confidence to go out on my own and to love myself again. Um, yeah, I think I would have struggled, because I had done all the things. I had gone to therapy, I did the work, but Vision Finder is so much more than therapy. It's like just such a breakthrough, in terms of realigning with who you truly are as a woman.
For all the women on the fence, or all the women who are telling themselves enough is enough, right? Um, what would you say to those women who are on the fence? Because you just highlighted something super important. You went through therapy. You did other things, right? So what would you do have done differently? Or where have you had done it had you been on the fence, not on the fence?
Mm. You mean advice for them if they're considering
Yeah.
and
If
not
someone was
sure?
on the fence, what would you tell them?
I mean, I would tell them to go for it. Like, what do you have to lose? Honestly, you only have um, everything to gain, and the time is going to pass anyway. So why not use it productively and constructively to build the life that you want? There's truly no reason not to, I believe, especially if you feel like you're at an impasse and you just don't know where else to turn and you've maybe done everything else. Give this a try and see. I truly do think that it will be the light bulb that you need to just start living the life that you're meant to live.
Thank you, Renee. And for everybody out there, if you're still sitting on the fence after hearing this, and after hearing Renee's testimony today, how much longer are you willing to stay where you are? That's the question that I want you to really think about, really ponder today. And join us over here at Vision Finder. Well, we're where we are all super happy, like Renee. Thank you, Renee, for being here.
Thank you.